The length of a train, including the longest trains, may be measured in number of wagons or in meters for general freight. Train lengths and loads on electrified railways, especially lower voltage 3000 VDC and 1500 VDC, are limited by traction power considerations. Drag gear and couplings can be a limiting factor, tied in with curves, gradients and crossing loop lengths. Conventional freight trains can average nearly 2,000 meters. Freight trains with a total length of 3 or 4 times that average are possible with the advent of distributed power units, or additional locomotive engines between or behind long chains of freight cars. These DPUs enable much longer, heavier loads without the increased risks of derailing that stem from the stress of pulling very long chains of train cars around curves. Bulk. Rail gauge, 1,435 ohm except where shown. Australia, Rio Tinto Euro 29,500 tons of iron ore Euro 2.4 km, 3 locomotives, BHP Billiton iron ore typically 336 cars, 44,500 tons of iron ore, over 3 km long, 6 to 8 locomotives including intermediate remote unit, Lee Creek Koala Euro 2.8 km, 161 wagons and 2 locomotives. Kane Tramway, 75 wagons gauge. Brazil, Carajás Railway 1,600 ohm gauge iron ore typically 330 car trains, each 3 km long. China, Dakin Railway coal trains a Euro 20,080, 3.2 km, 210 wagons. Mauritania Euro 3 Akmar Euro iron ore from Zawa copyright Rata Euro trains lurch violently when accelerating or braking. Indonesia, Muara coal to Bengalan Porter Euro 2196 am. South Africa, Seshini Euro Saldanha railway line or trains on 1067 ohm Euro 4100 am. General. United States are limited by air brake capability. 3658 AMA Euro electronically controlled pneumatic brake to Euro AAR standard S4200. Canada, double-stack container trains reaching 4200 am are regularly operated by Canadian National Railway system-wide with distributed power locomotives. General cargo trains are limited to 3700 am, and bulk trains are limited to 3000 am but up to 20,700 tons. 1800 AMA Euro Australia Euro Parkesa Euro Perth Euro Adelaide Euro Darwin Euro, limited by 1800 AM crossing loops, 1524 AM, France, Intermediate Loco, Trial, 1500 AMA Euro Australia Euro Adelaide Euro Melbourne Air Euro Sydney Euro Brisbane Euro, limited by 1500 AM crossing loops. Some loops to be extended to 1800 AM. 1500 AMA Euro UIC standard double-length train, 1222 AM the Bangalore Euro Tamavaram goods train Euro the train runs between Bangalore and Tamavaram almost every day. There is no stop for this train, and there is no railway station on this route which can accommodate the whole train on a single track or platform. So all the superfast, express trains including the longest passenger train the 31-coach Gomti Express is sent to the loop line. Indian Railways term this as increased vehicle length. This reduces the traffic in this single-lined region. 2 goods train attached back-to-back, each train is led by 2 locomotives. 1000 AM, the Netherlands Euro Germania Euro trial trains of this length, Saudi Arabia 1000 AM double-stack. 835 AMA Euro in Denmark and to Hamburg, Germany. 2 locos and 82 wagons. 800 AMA Euro RVR in East Africa to introduce longer trains, which needs longer crossing loops. 750 AMA Euro normal for main lines in several countries in Europe. 750 AMA Euro UIC standard single-length train, 400 AMA Euro New South Wales steam era, where lengths also limited by practical length of crossing loops mechanically operated from signal boxes. Passenger. Australia Euro up to 99 coaches on the GAN, Japan, Takeda Shinkansen N716 car train set 404 AM, the Netherlands Euro up to 15 coaches Euro 403 AM, Sweden a Euro 17 coaches a Euro 484 am between Stockholm and Luleå. Sometimes charter trains are longer than that. For example 22 coaches, 530 am on 24 to 25 FEBR 2012. Germany a Euro 2 ICE 3 trains combined a Euro 402 am. France a Euro 2 TGV Atlantique trains combined a Euro 476 am. United Kingdom, Belgium, France a Euro Eurostar/British Rail Class 373 a Euro 394 am, United States a Euro Auto train between Lawton, Virginia, and Sanford, Florida a Euro up to 50 cars. 4 or 5 coaches, 1 lounge, 3 diners, 6 sleepers, 1 transition sleeper and up to 35 autarchs. United States, Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus trains, longest privately operated passenger trains in the world at nearly 60 cars each. 2 trains, the Red Unit and the Blue Unit, tour the country in an overlapping 2-year cycle. Each circus train consists of around 40 to 45 passenger cars with dorm rooms for the circus performers and crews, 4 animal cars usually placed at the front of the train for a smoother ride, a dining car referred to as the pie car, a generator car to provide power to the train, 2 merchandise boxcars and 15 to 20 flat cars carrying circus vehicles and containers. India, 24 coach trains are standard for most popular long-distance services, which translates into approximately 600 meters per train. Canada, the Canadian Transcontinental Train may have 33 train cars during peak season. The length of passenger trains generally has to match the length of platforms, especially high-level platforms. These platforms cannot always be extended to suit extended train lengths due to bridges, tunnels, pointwork, narrowing track centers and stabling yards, though selective door opening can help long trains stop at short platforms. Special test runs, these are one-off to set records, bulk, BHP run on June 21, 2001, comprising 682 wagons and hauled by 8 6,000 HP General Electric AC 6000 CW diesel-electric locomotives controlled by a single driver with a total length of 7.353 km on the 275 km iron ore railway to Port Hedland in Western Australia. Euro total weight 99,734 tonnes, Sishan Euro Saldanha, South Africa. Run on 26 Euro August 27, 1989, comprising 660 wagons, 7.302 kilometers long and a total weight of 71,765 tons. The train comprised 16 locomotives. The longest and heaviest freight train ran on February 20, 1986 from Ekibastuz to the Urals, Soviet Union, was carried out with the coal train. The composition consisted of 439 wagons and several diesel locomotives distributed along the train with a mass of 43,400 tons and the total length of 6.5 kilometers. General cargo, Union Pacific, United States. Run from January 8 to January 10, 2010, consisting of 296 container cars and hauled by 9 diesel-electric locomotives spread through the train with a total length of 18,000 feet, from a terminal in Texas to Los Angeles. Around 618 double-stacked containers were carried at speeds up to 70 mph. 14,059 AT. BNSF, United States, 2010 Euro 3.03 km, passenger. Kijhokar Euro Breeder, Netherlands. Run on February 19, 1989, as a test and publicity stunt what would become the longest passenger train in the world. The train was pulled by one 1500 VDC locomotive and had 60 passenger cars, of which only the first 14 cars held actual passengers during the run. Gent Euro Oostende, Belgium. On April 27, 1991, 1 electric locomotive and 70 passenger cars held a charity run for the Belgian Cancer Fund, thereby exceeding the Dutch record. See also: distributed power a Euro, where operational considerations or economics require it, trains can be made longer if intermediate locomotives are inserted in the train and remotely controlled from the leading locomotive. Heaviest trains, high-speed rail, track gauge, Extreme Trains on the History Channel 2009, List of steepest gradients on Adhesion Railways, Longest train journeys, International Heavy Haul Association, Longest road trains, References.